When the last Roman soldiers sailed home, they left behind more than empty forts. They left behind uncertainty. For almost 400 years, Rome had protected Britain from foreign invasion. Now, that protection had disappeared, and the island stood alone for the first time in centuries. Without Rome, there was no single government to unite Britain. Local rulers defended their own lands, often competing with one another instead of working together. It was a dangerous time, and news of Britain's weakness soon spread across the North Sea. Across the sea lived Germanic peoples known today as the Angles, the Saxons, and the Utes. At first, some came as traders, others as hired warriors. But many would soon arrive with a very different purpose: to settle. They did not all come as conquerors. Many arrived with their families, bringing seeds, tools, animals, and hopes for a better future. They were searching for land where they could build new lives. Few could have imagined that their language would one day be spoken across much of the world. As the years passed, temporary camps became permanent villages. Forests were cleared, fields were cultivated, and communities began to grow. These settlers were laying the foundations of a new society, one that would gradually reshape Britain forever. Over time, the Angles became one of the largest and most influential groups. Their homeland came to be known as the Land of the Angles, Engla-land, as a name that gradually evolved into England. A new identity was beginning to take shape, one that would influence history for centuries to come. But the story of England had only just begun. Soon, powerful kingdoms would rise, rivalries would shape the island, and a new faith would transform the lives of its people. As more settlers arrived, Britain became a patchwork of powerful kingdoms. There was no single ruler and no united England. Instead, ambitious kings competed for land, wealth, and influence. Historians would later call this period the Heptarchy, the Seven Kingdoms. While kingdoms fought for power, another force quietly began transforming Britain.
Christian missionaries crossed the sea, bringing a new faith, new ideas, and centers of learning that would shape the island for generations.
Monasteries became far more than places of worship. They preserved knowledge, copied books by hand, educated future leaders, and kept history alive during an age when written records were rare. Much of what we know about early England survives because of their work. Among the competing kingdoms, one would gradually rise above the rest. Wessex grew stronger through determined leadership, skilled warriors, and careful alliances. In time, it would play a decisive role in shaping the future of England. Just as the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms began to flourish, a new threat appeared beyond the horizon. They came from the cold lands of Scandinavia. Fearless sailors, skilled warriors, and relentless raiders. Their arrival would change Britain forever. The age of the Vikings was about to begin. They came without warning. They struck with terrifying speed. And for the next 2 centuries, the Vikings would become one of the greatest challenges Britain had ever faced.